Delhi Chief Minister and Aam Aadmi Party convener Arvind Kejriwal has once again skipped the sixth summon issued to him by the Enforcement Directorate in the excise policy money laundering matter. He has said that he is cooperating with the probe agency and the courts. He has further said that the probe agency should wait now for the court's judgment before issuing any fresh summons to him. This comes amid the ongoing scuffle between the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party, which has also now reached Chandigarh after 3 AAP councillors joined BJP amid the Chandigarh Mayor Manoj Sonkar tendering his resignation due to allegations of electoral malpractice in the recent mayoral polls last night. So BJP versus AAP has moved now from the national capital to also Chandigarh, which is seeing yet another political battle. I have with me on the broadcast Mukesh Tyagi of the BJP and Siddharth Sharma of the Aam Aadmi Party. I want to begin this conversation with Siddharth Sharma. Siddharth Sharma, I'd just like to understand from you, and so do the people, of course, watching, why exactly is Arvind Kejriwal not appearing before the Enforcement Directorate? I know that some reason has been given, which has resulted in the hearing now being shifted to the 15th of March next month. However, as far as the Enforcement Directorate summons are concerned, the sixth summon has now been skipped by the Chief Minister. He says wait for the court to give an order.
Yeah, Devika, hope I'm audible. I could not get an audio check before starting.
Yes, you are.
Oh, okay, fine. See, there is a context to it. What is the context to it? BJP is under the delusion like James Bond that a popular government has a license to kill. Not so, absolutely not so. In a democracy, there are checks and balances, and judiciaries can overturn the laws made by the parliament or a popular government. Incidentally, just 3 days ago, the Supreme Court struck down the entire electoral bond issue. The Supreme Court right now is hearing and taking very scathing remarks on the Chandigarh issue also. That goes on to show that the judiciary in India is independent and it can overturn any popular government's any law. Now, just like the ED is called as a constitutional authority, the Delhi Chief Minister is also a constitutional authority.
Yes.
If you just peruse the Indian Constitution, it is nearly 450-page document. You just download it on PDF and put search. It won't show Enforcement Directorate word doesn't come even one time, but the name of the term of Delhi Chief Minister comes many times. That goes on to show that Delhi Chief Minister is also also a constitutional body. Now, ED, when it summoned Arvind Kejriwal, that was the context that I said. Now, I'm coming to the exact question that you asked. The exact question is ED summons Arvind Kejriwal. Arvind Kejriwal highlights the illegality of it. Then ED goes to court saying that no, we are not illegal. Please, we have every right to summon him. And the court, in its own wisdom, heard both the parties on the 17th of February. And prima facie said that yes, Arvind Kejriwal seems to have a case. Let him come on 16th and put forth the case. That means that judiciary, the Modi government now cannot substitute its wisdom to the court's wisdom. The court's wisdom is already, the matter is already sub judice. Once the matter is sub judice, how can you go ahead and do the same thing again? Isn't it kind of contempt of court? It is as simple as that. If this matter was not in court, the question that you asked today would have been valid. That why Arvind Kejriwal is not going. Today, the status is Arvind Kejriwal has highlighted the ED's illegality in front of the court, and the court prima facie sees merit in it, and it has called for 16th of March.
But Sharma, what exactly did the court say? Let's not twist around what the court has said. The court has also said that a case can be made. It seems a case can be made also against Arvind Kejriwal.
Seems, Devika, that the entire BJP ecosystem is very disappointed that how come Arvind Kejriwal is not behind bars with such a powerful Modi government against him. Not so. That's why I said courts have their own wisdom. Courts are independent. Courts, obviously, when the court on 16 did not ask Arvind Kejriwal to appear before the ED, how come the ED, if it had such a strong case, on 16th the court did not ask Mr. Arvind Kejriwal to present himself? That itself shows that the summons were illegal, and once the summons are illegal, now the matter is sub judice. That's what Arvind Kejriwal is today saying, that once the matter is in court, let us respect the court. Let us not do it the Delhi way. When the Delhi statehood issue came up before the Supreme Court and the Supreme Court heard it, it gave a decision, unanimous decision that Delhi is a full state. Yet the parliament, the Modi government went ahead and usurped the entire Supreme Court's judgment. So if they want to do so, I can challenge the BJP today to call for a special parliament session and make a law specifically for Arvind Kejriwal. Who is stopping that? If they feel that the court have done wrong, and there is precedent in BJP that whenever a court's ruling is found uncomfortable for BJP, it goes to the parliamentary way and usurps it, overturns the judiciary's verdict, even Supreme Court's verdict. I think I can challenge the BJP today to call for a special parliamentary session and make a law specifically for Arvind Kejriwal, because it's very clear by your statement also that the entire BJP ecosystem seems to be very disappointed that how come Arvind Kejriwal is not behind bars. I tell you how. The simple reason is the guy you are trying to snatch here is an ex-IRS officer. He has passed the UPSC, he knows law very well, and he has taken the legal recourse. And once he has taken the legal recourse, the matter is sub judice. I think it is humble enough for me or BJP or you or anyone here. We cannot substitute the court's wisdom here. Neither can I, neither can BJP, neither can you. I think we should wait for the courts to come up with any kind of verdict, and they will come up with the verdict. We need to have patience.
If the courts in March say that Arvind Kejriwal must appear before the enforcement directorate, that the only way that Arvind Kejriwal can actually cooperate with the agency is appearing before it and going through a round of grueling questions, as have other Aam Aadmi Party leaders in the past. Manish Sisodia also had to appear before the enforcement directorate before he was arrested. Will Arvind Kejriwal then appear?
The rhetorical answer is on 16th, the court can also say that ED is somewhere illegal. Isn't it so? Isn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Exactly.
No. The court may say. I'm saying, no, Mr. Siddharth Sharma, I'm saying that if the court ends up saying it, please appear, then only then Mr. Kejriwal will appear before the enforcement directorate.
I think Arvind Kejriwal knows how to respect law, and he knows law very well, and he will be respecting the law. That should be sufficient of an answer.
Okay. Mukesh Tyagi, charges against the BJP are that this was an attempt to tarnish the image of the Aam Aadmi Party, to tarnish the image of Arvind Kejriwal, and it is not working, it has backfired. How does the BJP respond?
There is a saying that mental knowledge is a dangerous thing. I think he has not read the court order properly, and he's trying to completely misinterpret the court order. What court order has said? ED has filed under section 174 of IPC for non-obedience of the summons issued by enforcement director, which is a quasi-judicial authority. Now it has said very categorically to the court that, look, this gentleman who is a Sultan of Delhi stands unmasked, and he's about to, I think his entire intellectual honesty, his hypocrisy is about to get exposed in a big way. And that's the reason Mr. Kejriwal is avoiding continuously if he has got nothing in his hand, no malice, he should go squarely and stand before the enforcement directorate, give his clarification. But he has been avoiding on some pretext or other. No confidence motion he brought in the Delhi Assembly on his own, suo moto. There was no need. His party is in complete command. So he is trying to, then he went for Vipassana. How many times you will tell lies through your teeth? And everybody knows, the nation knows that he's a hypocrite of the first order. Then second thing is, court has said? The court has said that I want to examine why Mr. Kejriwal is not cooperating with the quasi-judicial authorities' power to issue summons. That is the limited point. They are not questioning they have a right to arrest or not. But because Kejriwal's lawyer has put up that it is a victimization, they are trying to do this. So instead of that, but let me tell you one thing I can predict right away, because there is nothing which Mr. Kejriwal will be able to defend, and he'll be handed over to the enforcement director for a deeper interrogation. So it is a matter of days. It's not something like 16th March is the date which I think he got 1 month respite. That's I think a breathing point he has got it. But that's the reason, I mean, why he is avoiding it? If he has got nothing to say, then look at Sanjay Singh's. I mean, he was also, when he was going to the court, he was being arrested, he was laughing and smiling, and I'll be out in no time because there's no money trail. Why he continues to get behind the bar? Because the bail is a rule and jail is an exception. Despite all that, both Sanjay Singh and Manish Sisodia, they are behind bar for how many months? You can imagine about it. And it is a corollary of the same argument. The Delhi excise case, which has got a huge misembezzlement, twisting of the policy, no procedural clearance. They avoided Lieutenant Governor. There was a telephonic conversation. They were taking the printout in a hotel printer. They were talking on the FaceTime to the people who are involved. Why the twist policy, and why did they withdraw that policy? If the policy was perfect for the country or Delhi people, why did they withdraw at the last moment? Because they knew they have been caught pants down, and that's the reason these guys are avoiding it. They're taking advantage of the law. Of course, I think adequate natural justice should be followed. ED doesn't come under us, but if I'm a law student, I would always go for the principles of natural justice. But look at Soren. Soren was also avoiding maybe 8 times. He was finally arrested. He was also talking about the same kind of lingo which Mr. Kejriwal lawyer is using. So I think there is a whole lot of serious apprehension in the minds of Mr. Kejriwal that he has been caught pants down, and there are not very few days left when he will go behind the bar. Because there are prima facie evidence clinching, and that establishes the corollary of the arrest of Mr. Sanjay Singh and Mr. Manish Sisodia. It's the same continuum. There's no difference. The thread is common. So if the thread is common, he's not getting bail. So obviously, Kejriwal knows that if I'm caught into the clutches of ED, I'm not going to let go, because he's equally involved. He's cognizant. He's guilty of
Mukesh Tyagi, then Arvind Kejriwal comes around and says that this is nothing but a politically motivated setup to stop me from even campaigning before the general elections.
Elections are around the corner. It's a perennial feature. So today you have parliamentary, tomorrow you have state election. There were state elections very recently. So this cannot be the excuse. You see, there is a maxim called the law is not looking at this. Law is blind. If you have done something wrong, it doesn't matter. You may be the king, you may be the prime minister, you may be the president. You have to surrender to the might of the law. And the law is above all these things. It's a constitutionality. And his spokesman was saying he's IRS, Indian Revenue Service, he knows the law. Maybe he knows the law too much. That's the reason he's trying to find the loopholes. And that's the reason he had that confidence that I can get away doing murders and nobody will be able to catch me. And that is one of the major motives of the murderer. When he commits a murder, he goes with all planning, meticulous planning, that I shall not be caught. But the laws are now gone are the days when you could influence the authorities. Now linking up with BJP is absolutely preposterous argument. BJP is not running ED. It is not a witch hunt. It is not a victimization. They are a quasi, and they are accountable to the judiciary if they do something wrong. You know, Section 50, what it says, that there should be adequate ground for arresting. Supreme Court order, you should see the last year's order, which has given some partial power them to arrest. Actually, ED could arrest if they have enough evidence and they can give in writing the reason why they're arresting. There are some caveats into it. So but I think ED is giving them a long rope. Let them do what they want to do. But at the end of the day, I think the continuum is very obvious. It is Sanjay Singh and Manish Sisodia, and in the same basket, Mr. Kejriwal is breathing. So I don't think he can avoid for too long.
Okay, Siddharth Sharma wants to respond to that.
Objection here, Devika, that when the BJP spokesperson says and equates Arvind Kejriwal, elected chief minister of Delhi, with a murderer, I think you should have also stopped him. Anyway, I've just highlighted it.
I'm not equating. Don't
you just, sir, it's on YouTube now. It's on record. It's on record. It's on record. It's on record now. It's on record already on YouTube. Don't worry. Don't worry. Whatever you have said, I've objected it to it. Let's continue with it. Now, this is the Gujarat chief minister of 2010 who skipped Supreme Court established SIT. That's just for an example. Now, I was listening very closely to the BJP spokesperson. He was using the words like unmasked, sultan, hypocrisy, embezzlement. I think day before yesterday, when the Supreme Court told BJP that it has 6,500 rupees of illegal money with it, the Supreme Court was exactly saying this to BJP, that you've been unmasked. Your sultanate doesn't work this way. you're class 1 hypocrites, and you have embezzled 6,500 rupees worth of money. Now, as far as FaceTime is concerned, everyone has seen the Chandigarh FaceTime, where on live television your BJP Anil Masih made stole an election. So let us not get into that. The point here is political, Mukesh, and politically everyone can see today that the entire BJP machinery is throwing the kitchen sink on Arvind Kejriwal. Why is it throwing the kitchen sink on Arvind Kejriwal? Because Arvind Kejriwal is doing some kind of governance which BJP is governance pauper. It's totally bankrupt of governance. And Arvind Kejriwal is doing governance without resorting to either polarization or appeasement, wherein, according to his model, when there is a Punjab government whose crime rate, according to the Modi government's national crime rate, NCRB data, that Punjab crime rate is lower than India's crime rate. Delhi's average income at 4,75,000 rupees is better than an Indian's average income of 2.5 lakh rupees. A Delhiite's average lifespan of 75 years is better than next door Noida's Ram Rajya of 66 years. So this Arvind Kejriwal model of governance, which does not resort to, I'm not saying it does not resort to, it does not need to resort to any kind of polarization, any kind of appeasement. It does not need a Home Minister of India to put his son as the chief of BCCI and then speak about dynastic politics on television. It does not need to have an ED which was supposed to catch Mr. Lalit Modi, Mr. Nirav Modi, and they are letting them cool their heels in London and then harass constitutional bodies. I think the courts exactly have seen this through. And my request to BJP is that they should understand a little bit of law. You cannot predict what is going to. If you today on television say tomorrow ED is going to do this and that itself will prejudice your own case. Please understand that. You will have to understand that as a government, when Mr. Modi ji says in Parliament that मैं भ्रष्टाचार होने नहीं दूंगा, वहीं पे आप फंस रहे हो, क्योंकि आप किसी इंडिपेंडेंट बॉडी के बारे में आप स्टेटमेंट नहीं दे सकते हो. When the BJP says that ED is going to do XYZ tomorrow, that itself is a open giveaway that BJP is controlling the entertainment directorate, and that is exactly what the court has seen through, and that is why the court has given time for Arvind Kejriwal for the next 1 month, that you can come up with those documents, with those papers, with your arguments, that how you're being victimized. And please be sure, Arvind Kejriwal is educated enough, more than the BJP spokesperson. BJP के ना प्रधान से लेके प्रवक्ता तक आप लोगों के सब लोगों से हम लोग ही ज्यादा पढ़े लिखे होते हैं. हम लोग समझ लेंगे.
Is there somewhere then a worry that the case or the narrative that is going around now regarding the Aam Aadmi Party or several other leaders, it may not be Arvind Kejriwal today, but several other leaders who've had to step down from their posts and positions as well and are now facing a case. Is there a worry somewhere that this could possibly dent the image of the Aam Aadmi Party and it could dent the upcoming elections?
Tell me one thing. I think I'll answer to your question. There is a context to it. When the BJP says that those who are in jail without bail are convicts or they have done something wrong, is the BJP saying that Atal Bihari Vajpayee was also wrong, Lal Krishna Advani was also wrong, because they were also in this same country in jail without bail? Hell, उन लोगों को छोड़िए ना. Even Lord Krishna was born in jail. Is the BJP saying that क्या होगा ना, बहुत लोगों को जेल में डालोगे तो आपको कंस लोग समझने लगेगा. तो you put more people into jail, people will start seeing you as Kamsa.
Okay. Mukesh Tyagi, I'm going to bring you back to the conversation. I'd like you to just respond to that. Like I said, has this somewhere then maybe backfired for the BJP as well? The fact that, do you feel then somewhere, is the public on the ground resonating with the narrative that the BJP has also been trying to put across, keeping what the agencies are doing aside, keeping what the court is doing aside, but the fact that the BJP has been trying to take this narrative forward against the Aam Aadmi Party as being a corrupt party, has that gained steam on the ground?
Absolutely, it has gained steam on the ground. The reason is this parliamentary election 2024 will establish that we will be again sweeping 7 parliamentary election in Delhi. And because Mr. Kejriwal conduct has been under observation right from the day he entered into non-political arena, where he said that I will never enter into active politics, and he just took the U-turn. He betrayed his creator, Anna Hazare, and where he has dumped himself. All the intellectuals have been thrown out because he suffered from a deep insecurity. I mean, you take the name of most of the guys, Prashant Bhushan and number of people. He's like a monarch. And look at the corruption cases. I'll tell you, even Mohalla clinic case, there is a huge corruption which has happened, and it has been established on the BACS matter, the discoms. Look at the kind of money which has been spent on the discom. There is a discom corruption. Then there is a school classrooms corruption. I can give you a number of details with the statistics. So this is kind of right from the beginning. Mr. Kejriwal, he said, I will adopt a simple lifestyle. Can you imagine the kind of lifestyle he's enjoying? One crore rupees curtain in his sheesh mahal. And where does he have the audacity to speak the honesty and simplicity in Indian politics? He has a pan-India ambition to become the Prime Minister of India. No wonder he contested against Mr. Modi in Varanasi, because and he wanted to raise the funds. So he resorted to all these cheap tactics. Mr. Maan is saying that he's running a low crime state. I think Harsimran Maan, look at the statement they have made in the assembly itself. It's on the brink of Khalistanis, some kind of a collusion going on. I'm not saying it. It's just go and ask the man. And so there is three cross-border terrorism which has happened. IED blast happened. I mean, these are not these small crimes. It's a border state, and you are playing into the hands of a divisive forces, and you are trying to challenge the might. Mr. Modi does not even have a one single blemish. Bedag Sarkar Mr. Modi ने 10 साल चलाई है, and no wonder we are saying कि इसकी बार 400 पार. मैं तो on the contrary I am predicting इस बार 500 पार, because the entire opposition is decimated. Look at Kejriwal's support to India Gathbandhan. He wants to go on his own. He does not want to accommodate Congress. So what kind of political opportunity you are trying to display? Because they want to reach out to pan-India. Out of 513 or something like that, I think they lost deposit in substantial number. So they don't have the pan-India presence. They try to get into Goa, everywhere they want to go. So and where are they funding? Look at the kind of investment they are making in the advertisements. And they have become suddenly so opportunistic in nature. Now, Mr. Kejriwal is not interested in Delhi. He wants to go to a higher position. Now, he says, enough is enough. Now, let me become the Prime Minister. I'm the only person with a clean image. But his clean image is completely tarnished. And these guys are losing. And you will see to it. In the days to come, they will get more exposed. They will get more exposed because they have collected mountains of evidence against them. They said about pollution, how many years they have been in power? I mean, they still, every time, the air quality index deteriorates so rapidly. Delhiites are breathing 30 cigarettes in a minute because of Mr. Kejriwal's worst management of pollution. Delhi has been, and sometimes they'll come out with the odd even. They have not done anything which is at an industrial level to reduce the pollution, and that is the biggest crime.
Yes,
and
because it's a major conundrum that the Aam Aadmi Party also faces, right? You're in power in Delhi and you're in power in Punjab because the pollution is coming from Punjab, but you still can't do anything for Delhi. That's a separate conversation. I'm going to come to you in just a moment. I think I've given a fair amount of time to our political spokespersons as well, but Ashwini Dubey joins us for a legal perspective. Ashwini Dubey, I'd just like to understand from you. I'm sure you've been tracking the case that Arvind Kejriwal has been fighting before the courts and also the summons of the Enforcement Directorate. I'd just like to understand from you, 6th time the Enforcement Directorate has issued a summon. What really is the procedure then involved? How many times can the Enforcement Directorate in fact keep issuing summons, and how many times can those summons be evaded, and what really then becomes the legal route ahead for Arvind Kejriwal?
Thank you, Megha, for having me here. Megha, first...
Devika, sir. This is Devika.
Sorry. Thank you, Devika, for having me here. Devika, first, that the PMLA Act does not say that how many summons is to be issued. If the investigating agency wants to arrest someone, then investigating agencies has ample powers to arrest any accused against whom the allegations have been made. Here, since he is one of the chief minister of a state, having the constitutional authority, There is an ongoing investigation. The summons were issued time and again. The summons were issued in order to produce the documentary evidence and also to person to appear before. So there is a legal obligation, a legal duty cast upon a person against whom any investigating agency, be it the ED or any other premier agency or the state police, ask anyone to appear either as a witness or the prospective accused, then a person has a constitutional duty, the legal duty to appear before the investigating agency. Here, not once, 4 or 5 times first the summons were issued by the agency, but then he did not appear. Then finally agency, having no other option left, approached to the court saying that, look, this is the conduct of that person and therefore you please issue an orders. In that orders, immediately he called for the Vidhan Sabha session or no confidence motion, whatever it is called. But so far as the arrest is concerned, investigating agency has a power to arrest it, but without providing the enough opportunity to present a case or saying that, look, I am not involved in this case, because the PMLA Act depends on the two tests.
But Ashwini Dubey, can not appearing before the Enforcement Directorate itself eventually become grounds for arrest?
But it is on the wisdom of it is on the discretion of the investigating agency itself, Devika, whether they wants to arrest that person at that point of time or not. And it is since the person, the accused, the prospective accused or prospective witness, what we call it, we should not say that he is an accused or he is a whatever. That agency has to decide and ultimately court will take a call. But whether not appearing before the agency does not amount that a person who has taken an oath for allegiance to the constitution is that one question. Second is, the person, as much as you're responsible on having the higher position, your responsibility is much more than the common individual. So far, had it been the case of a common individual, then ED would have taken a step by this time. But since he is heading a constitutional position, and we have seen in Hemant Soren's case that ED asked that, look, if you are not able to come, we will come to you. And therefore, either you answer your questions, our questions, or we will come to you. And finally, what happened here also, since now the last stage is court's order. So after the exemption which has been granted by the court is over, ED has powers now to arrest. ED would have arrested earlier also, but since he is having such a higher post, and therefore I think that ED would have taken a precaution so that the court should not challenge, it should not be challenged in the court, one, and court should not also ask that, have you given him proper opportunity to appear before you and present his case? Yes, Devika.
Okay, Advocate KV Dhananjay also joins us on the broadcast. KV Dhananjay, I leave the last word with you. What do you make then of what's happening as far as the court case is concerned, and what do you feel could possibly be then the future of this case?
This is about Mr. Kejriwal, Arvind Kejriwal.
Yes.
Well, it doesn't make sense for the ED to repeatedly go before the court and then to complain. They already have the powers of arrest and they should just invoke that power of arrest. Now, it's a bit strange that the ED is adopting a course of procedure here that it has not adopted with respect to the other accused. Mr. Arvind Kejriwal is a citizen of this country. He is as much subject to the criminal laws as any other citizen of India. And what kind of kid gloves are the ED adopting here? You know, going to the court repeatedly, and then it just doesn't make any sense. In a criminal case, if the accused fails to cooperate with the investigation, then the investigating agency has a right and also the power to arrest the accused in deserving cases. Now, this would be an episode where the ED has arrested a large number of other people. So why are they backtracking? It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any common sense. It doesn't make any legal sense. If the ED is keen to see...
But Dhananjay, exactly right. The Enforcement Directorate does have the authority to arrest. So why do you feel that then they're not exercising that right?
Well, they are actually pointing out that, ED deals with chief ministers with kid gloves, and they are sending a very wrong message. Chief ministers of various states in this country are already facing criminal prosecution, and may not be in the last 5 years, but over the last 25-30 years, we've seen several chief ministers go behind bars. They were arrested, and I don't think the ED does understand that what it is doing is an egregious mistake here. It should not be doing what it is doing, which is to, show special legal favors to the chief minister. Because the chief minister has repeatedly dishonored the summons, he's made out an imminent case for arrest, and the ED should just arrest him. If the ED believes that there is a case for arrest, else the ED should simply drop him out. what's the point of calling him for investigation over and over again? Because he is going there in what capacity? As a witness or as an accused? Apparently, it's in the capacity as an accused. So if he fails to show up as an accused to repeated summons, then the ED has no business to go to the trial court and then to complain about it. And I am somewhat keen to know what kind of observations the trial court might make here, because the trial court is expected to tell the ED that the ED is adopting a very unknown, radical procedure, and that is simply unknown to law. So
Right.
the ED should just arrest him.
Okay, all right. At the end of the day, the case is sub judice, and this is the maximum extent of what we perhaps can also discuss on our news channel. But I thank all of our guests and panelists for joining us to take this conversation forward. It, of course, remains to be seen what really will happen as far as this particular court case is concerned, and also beyond the legal battle, the political battle between the Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP, which has moved from the national capital to Chandigarh.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.